Welcome everyone to J-Wolf Tech Broadcast. Today what I'm actually going to bring you is a cheaper build. And what I actually have today is a Magoo who is actually extremely interested in what we're doing today for some reason. I'm not really sure why. He usually just kind of does his own thing. But what we actually have today is a $900 AMD build. And if he doesn't stay away from my water, it's not going to last very long. Say bye. Alright everyone, today what I focused on is a $900 build. I know you guys have been asking for a little bit cheaper builds, and what I actually have today is I went ahead and did the 8350, AMD's 8350. And what I have this price at is $900. Some of you might think that that's a little crazy, but overall I think that's a pretty good budget for most people, and it's going to be able to multitask. It's not going to necessarily just be for gaming. I mean, it is focused more on the gaming aspect of things. But this will also be good for any type of video editing, any type of photo rendering, if you're really into any heavy rendering tasks that requires multiple cores, 8 specifically. Well, AMD's is a little different. About six cores, anything over that 4-core mark, it's really going to be able to push things and give you better results. That being said, it is a $900 build. And I do have some cheaper ones coming up. I plan on jumping into the $600 to $700 range next. But today let's actually jump in and see what AMD has to offer with its AMD 8350, which is doing very, very well in some games right now, especially games that require a little bit more CPU. Honestly, it's not quite the 3570K from the test I've seen in the majority of people out there, but it's also priced about 15% cheaper. So actually it is when you compare it to the charts. So let's jump in and see what we got here. As we go through this, I'm gonna go into how we can cut a little corners, maybe get a little bit better deals here and there, if you're wanting to get a little cheaper build, and just some overall general things that you might change if you actually want. For the case, I'm with the Cooler Master Storm Scout, and it is about $65, $64.99 right now actually. And I've actually done a build in this case, and it's an extremely well built case for 60 bucks, or 65 actually, $64.99. It's very, very difficult to get a case that's for that price point. I've looked at some of the Corsair cases, but their cases have kind of come up in price a little bit. So I mean, usually I recommend the $300 or even the $200, but the $300 was a little bit more than this. And I really like this case in that we're kind of going with a red theme because it is the AMD 8350, and it's got a cool handle on the top, which is very, very sturdy if you want to carry this around, get us some LAN parties and get that going on. So we got that for $64.99. For the motherboard, I'm going to have to pull this a little closer because it's a long bunch of numbers and letters. The Asus M5A97 LE R2, which I believe is a revision 2. This is an AMD 3 Plus platform, and it is $74.99, which is a pretty budget-oriented motherboard. I mean, you got to keep in mind that there's not a whole lot of high-end motherboards for the 8350. There's a few. Asus has a few, the Sabertooth and then the Replica Gamers boards, but this is going to be able to do a lot of the stuff. The same thing you're going to be able to do with that. You might not get the highest overclock with it, but you're going to be able to get very, very overclocking capabilities with it. It's extremely well positioned for the price in that it has most of the features you're actually going to need. If you're not a fan of the color, one thing, I'll probably throw a picture of it here. If you're not a fan of the color, MSI actually has a board that's similarly priced. It's a little bit neutral of a color if you're not a fan of that. I know some people are kind of picky on the actual color of their motherboard, especially if you're someone like me who actually is. And that being said, just grab that for 75 bucks, $74.99. It's a really good deal. For the CPU with the AMD 8350, which is actually on sale right now for $179.97. Throw a picture of it up here. You guys have seen this before, but this is basically AMD's top-of-the-line CPU, single CPU, not their APUs. It's got the GPU built in. It's 8 cores, but it is different cores than Intel. Actually, it's about 6. If you ask me, comparing it to Intel, it's about 6 instead of Intel's 4. It's a great processor. I mean, it's going to be able to take advantage of those cores, not only in some games like, let's say, Battlefield 3, or some people are even saying the new Crysis 3. I've seen mixed bags on the Crysis 3, comparing the 3570 against this. I'm not going to go into that because there's plenty of news and there's plenty of people that actually will be able to could do the test on that. They did it a lot more accurately than I could. But it's a great processor. I mean, for video editing, rendering, anything like that, it's going to do great again also. So this is not just a gaming build. It is focused on gaming, but it's going to have a whole lot of other aspects into it that you can do. For the PSU, I actually went the Cooler Master CX 750 watt power supply at $60. I honestly couldn't find one that was 750 watts that was any cheaper. One thing about the AMD 8350, it does require more power. So I wanted to get a little bit beefier CPU or GPU just in case if you want to do Crossfire SLI in this rig, you're going to be able to. But I went with that. That's more of their lower end power supplies. The CX is their builder series, but it's still a great power supply. It's going to have a good warranty with it. And overall, we know it's built out of good components because it does have that Corsair name on it. So grab that for $60. If you can find one a little better, this is 80 plus bronze, so you're going to get a little bit of efficiency out of it. If you find something a little bit better as the time progresses, definitely look into there. It's not modular. That's one thing to take away from this, is that it's not modular, but you know, I spent money in other places that some people might not, which if you don't like that, you can modify this, but this is how I would build the system. For the GPU, I went with the MSI 7870 GHz edition. A few reasons for this is that it's going to outperform the 660 and the majority of the tests I saw. And it's AMD. We're focusing on AMD. I mean, it's going to run great with the 8350, and it's $194.99, and it's paired with Bioshock Infinite, which is the new one, the new Tomb Raider. You get codes for both of those, and you get the new 3D Mark. That's pretty cool right there, if you ask me. Especially, I mean, you got 2 AAA titles, and then you got the new 3D Mark, so you can do some benchmarking and share some videos on your benchmarking of this card. I mean, it's a great looking card. MSI's got a good warranty support. I've had to deal with them at least once on a not a warranty issue, but I have had to deal with the customer service. I didn't have any issues with it. It was great. I had a great experience with it. So check that out for $194.99. I mean, that's a good price for a 7870. That's where the majority of my money went. That and the processor eats up a lot of your budget when you're trying to get a somewhat budget-oriented high-end system that you know you're going to be able to do more with than just game on. You're going to be able to throw some other things at it and get some things out of it. For the RAM, I was disappointed in RAM too, because it's not as, I didn't really find a whole lot of deals on it. And we got the G.Skill Ripjaw X Series, 8 GB. It is red. Probably throw a picture up here somewhere maybe of it, but it's good looking RAM for $62.99. Gets good reviews, very good reviews all around. Every website I checked, it had the top end reviews of everything, so grab that. I remember not too long ago we could get 8 GB of RAM for $40–45, but you know, maybe prices are just coming up, or that time of the year, I don't know. I couldn't find anything a whole lot cheaper. That this case does have a window in it, so I wanted the RAM to be able to look a little bit nice. Like I want it to have a little bit of quality to it, a little bit of kind of a sex appeal in the look of it. So grab that for $62.99. For the SSD, some people have been saying don't throw an SSD in this. If I build a system, it's going to have an SSD in it. I mean, it's crazy not to with how low the prices have come. It just speeds up your system so much, not only in just booting, but it also speeds it up in many other tasks. I mean, just put an SSD in it. We have the Samsung 840 series, the non-Pro, and it's 120 GB for $90. That's a pretty good deal right now. Definitely, usually it's pretty common to get it at 100, maybe you know, $99, $98, but for $89, it's a really good deal. And so check that out. For that, it's a great SSD. And if you don't want SSD in your system, subtract $100 from 90, and you got your total. For the hard drive, I went with the Seagate Barracuta 1 TB. I've recommended this in a ton of builds that I've actually been broadcasting here, and it's $64.99. Anywhere between $60 and $65 is generally where this runs. I've had a 2 TB same exact Seagate Barracuta drive that I've been running, and I haven't had any issues with that for at least 2 years. So they do make really good hard drives. So pick that up. If you don't need that capacity, you know, if you're not storing a lot of stuff on it, get a smaller one. I mean, it's up to you, but definitely shop around there if you want something a little different than that 1 TB. For the cooler, I went the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Plus for $20. This is easily the best cooler out there. The only recommendation I might throw out, and if you want to maybe upgrade a few things, you got a few more cash to throw out, is get some Noctua fans. Throw some Noctua fans in this, and it's gonna outperform the stock fans that come with it. But for 20 bucks, it's hard to beat that. Option. And the Cooler Master Storm Scout, Cooler Master series are all about air cooling, so it's gonna have good air cooling. So why not throw an air cooler on it just to help push some air out of that system? And for Windows 7, I put an $80 budget on there. Grab whatever you want. Windows 7, Windows 8, you can get it for $80. Sometimes you can get Windows 8 a little cheaper, but not all the time. So grab that for $80. And for a CD, DVD, I personally wouldn't even get one, but I put a $15 budget here. You can get an external one probably for that, or a regular one you just throw in. I have an old regular one laying around that I just randomly hook up to my system, however I want to, if I ever need to re-download Windows, I guess. That's the only thing that has a CD on it for me. That rounds out our total of the March's AMD 8350 build, $907.91. I went over a little bit, but I mean, this is a pretty good, it's not pretty good, it's an awesome system for that price point. There's a few things that you might be able to catch on sale if you wait around a little bit. Like I said, the power supply, actually that was pretty cheap. I mean, $60 is difficult to cut any corners there, but I mean, you got a good CPU, a good GPU, which is mainly what you need for gaming or any other type of, even video editing, any other type of activities. That's going to be where you get the best performance. We got an SSD in here, so the system's going to be fast. You don't have to worry about that. It comes with Bioshock Infinite and Tomb Raider, and it also comes with the new 3D Mark, so you can do some benchmarking on your system, get it posted up, and see what other people think, and just get involved in that. Overall, it's an excellent system if you ask me. If I was building a system and had $900, this is how I would build it. Honestly, it actually is. The case is a little subjective to where it's all about the style you want. If you don't want this style, look at something else. There's a ton of cases you can get for $65, but I do think that the Storm Scout, it's one of the better built looking cases. It's red. It does have some red LEDs in there. I do believe it's one of the better built cases out there for $65. If you'd like to see more videos like this, again, don't forget to let me know. I know you guys are looking for even more budget oriented, $600 to $700. I got a lot of that. Between $600 and $800, that's going to be next. I'm going to probably try to see how low I can get it, as comfortable as I feel with the system. Maybe the $600 range. I would love to get down to $500, but you're gonna have to go with the APU and GPU built in, I think, to do that. And I would like to get maybe a Core i3. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But thanks for watching, you guys. And I do have a structure to my channel that's going to be coming up. And this is the last time I'm going to have poor volume. I actually upgraded. I got a shotgun microphone that I'm going to put on here. But I wanted to get this video out before then. I'm going to have new content every weekend. That's going to be my focus. And as the channel progresses, I might be doing more unboxings, reviews. I have some reviews I have coming up. But when I do my reviews, I like to actually keep something for a while. But that's going to be a different video. That's just give me a little heads up. I will have new content every weekend. I will have new content up. And overall during the week, I'll be doing those daily deals that people actually been liking pretty well. If you'd like to see more builds like this, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any recommendations on it, definitely let me know. Let me know down on the bottom. I usually go by what you guys actually want and what you guys, I look at the builds I've done and which ones you guys view the most and which ones get the most reaction from, and I go from there. And you guys have been asking for a cheaper build. This is an 8350 March edition. That's a pretty good build. Actually, it's an excellent build. I don't know why I keep saying pretty good. It's an excellent build for $900. Pick it up. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will see you guys next time on JWolf Tech Broadcast.